Starting off with a book that a lot of people had a hard time finding this week. I had a lot of people reach out to me asking about this book, and a lot of people that said, be on the lookout for this because it's hard to find, all that type of stuff. And this is a tough book to find this week. Profane, issue number 4, the Suspiria 1 in 20 variant. That came out this week from Boom Studios. So
basically there are no eBay sales and no no eBay listings on this book either. I think there was I think I saw one European sale, is all I saw. So basically all sales were on either on Midtown or My Comic Shop or some of the bigger retailers. That's really the only place you could get this. So they all had it listed for 20. They're all sold out. If you guys can find one, this would probably be one to pick up and just keep.
yeah.
It's a number 4 issue. So that's what the even if you thought, they may have, there might be a decent number out there, I doubt it, because it is a number 4 issue of a Boom title that I can't really see that many people picking up.
Wow. Shout out to Doc Joe, who says the Woe Book of the Week is available on their website for $6.99, and they have virgin copies for $20, FYI.
Ooh, virgin copy.
Yeah. That might be worth picking up. So yeah, these type of books are the type of books that kind of keep their value for a decent period of time because they're hard to find and they're good covers. And I'm not have you heard of this artist before? I think we've talked about this artist before, but not very often.
Yeah, I feel like there was something else from Suspiria, but I can't place it right off the top of my head.
Yeah, I haven't read the series yet, but Lord Tapman says he tried it and it just wasn't his. He thought it sucked. So I'm not sure if anybody else is reading it. Let us know. But again, this is the 4th issue, so if it's not that great of a series, this might be a little tougher to find. So
the only thing I could find was issue 1 in 25.
Yeah. All right.
It's not as good of a cover.
Yeah, that's a great cover right there. Moving on, our next book. This is great. Phantasm Overminds, issue number 1, signed by the director and screenwriter of Phantasm, Don Coscarelli. Sold this week raw for $550.
Wow.
Yeah, that's crazy, right? And it's funny when you try and find listings for Phantasm, the only thing that shows up is Mask of the Phantasm.
Yep. Dude, I remember when I was a kid seeing this movie. This is one of the few horror movies that as a kid kind of really creeped me out. That old man guy with the crazy phantasm balls was so creepy. And that's what this is about. He gets into the future somehow. That old creepy man gets into the future somehow, 200 years into the future, and wreaks havoc again. So this is actually kind of cool to me. I would definitely pick this up if I saw this in a long box. So, but Ex Machina Comics in 2002. There's probably not many of this out there.
How's that price tag for you though? Would you pay $550?
No, because I'm not a huge Don Coscarelli fan, but I bet you there's a lot of horror fans out there of him because this is a classic cult horror movie. So look at this. Joe W says, I just got a Phantasm Sphere at a con in July. That's awesome. Yeah. Spidey Guy Murph says, Coscarelli's Phantasm Saga is nuts. There's 5 of them. Yeah, they're so crazy. I'm actually going to probably go watch that again this weekend because of seeing this book. So again, Stein's Almost 10 strikes again.
That nostalgia bug. Dang you, Stein.
Yeah. It's creepy cover too. The trade dress is good. Yeah, it's a good cover. So
it totally is.
Yeah. All
Why do
right.
you know all the cool stuff, huh?
I know.
Tell us now.
Moving on. Next book is Futurama Comics to Infinity. This is actually a trade paperback San Diego Comic-Con exclusive from 2013. It's a beautiful wraparound cover. And I imagine it being a trade paperback, it's probably pretty tough to come by. And from the price tag, it seems like it brings a pretty penny too.
Yeah, this one sold this week in VF minus condition for 111 raw.
Wow.
Yeah, it's crazy. But man, these Futurama, and they're hard to find. They're really hard to find.
Here's the trade. Here's the full cover.
I feel like a lot of those are thrash too. Like,
Yeah.
Like, because I know Dennis flashed like some stuff that he picked up from the shop, and then you and I were both interested in those delivery boy comics, right?
Yep.
Well, I started watching some on eBay just to get a ballpark idea of like how much Dennis is going to charge me, like if he sells them. And I looked up one, and it was like it had spine ticks like all over it, and it sold for still over $150. I was just like, kind of like, I was like, are you serious right now? And it was an auction. It's not just like it was a buy it now. It was an auction.
Wow.
And I was just like, kind of like, I was like, oh, this is a pricey book. I was like, well, it's a good thing I love my brother, because
yeah.
hey, yeah.
Yeah. AOA says Matt Groening Toon books are all wanted. Yes. Evergreen on any of the Simpsons and Futurama stuff. Big time. Yeah. So very, very cool. Supposedly this collects stories from issues 23, 37, 39, and 45. And it's a 104-page softcover trade paperback. So
104 pages, man.
Yeah. Yep.
So, and then Futurama is currently showing on Hulu.
Hell yeah!
I'm sure that helps a lot too.
Yeah.
Since like I mean, it's still relevant too. Like I don't know. I like it a lot. Just Matt Groening's sense of humor shows up in it. It's topical to what's going on currently. It makes fun of parodies of old shows that have recently happened within the last year or two.
Yeah, it's good shit, man. I love anything Simpsons related. Classic. All right, next. This one's kind of cool. Grix Ley, issue number 1 from Grix Ley Comics in 2009. Do you guys know anything about this book, Grix Ley? You ever heard of Grix Ley?
All I know is this cover is crazy creepy.
So this book has quite a few copies released for it. There are 66 copies of Grix Ley Comics.
What?
Self-published. Okay. Self-published by this man, Nate McDonough. And Nate McDonough, back in 2001, had a Comics Journal article written about him where it says Nate McDonough makes comics about flipping comics.
What?
How cool is this, dude? When Nate McDonough first started flipping comic books as a full-time job, he estimates he spent some 60 to 80 hours a week searching shops and listing and shipping his finds through eBay. He says here, he's a 33-year-old Pittsburgh resident. He's been making his comics for more than a decade. At 21 years old, he started Grix Ley, a series that collects mini comics he creates, often containing profane gags and autobio foibles. It gained a spike in readership about 5 years ago. A few years after that, he started flipping comics full-time and debuted Long Boxes within Grix Ley, which produced another spike in readership. So this comic, you guys, is right up our alley. It's about us. He's one of us. He's a dirty flipper. It's about flipping comics.
Oh my gosh.
That's kind of cool.
It is cool.
Yeah.
Right?
Does this mean you're going to start your own comic, Brian?
I don't know, but I'm definitely gonna go try to find one of these. That's for sure. Look at these. That's so cool. Good for him. That's amazing. So there we go. Grix Ley Comics. Grix Ley #1 is on the almost 10 this week. How much did this sell for, Stein?
This sold for $90.
See?
I've
That's
never
what I'm
even
talking
heard
about.
of. I literally have never even heard of this.
Neither have I
Did-
until today. That's the almost 10, baby.
I have to know, did he flip his own comic for $90?
Well, you can go to his webpage and you can find some of them. So this is his webpage. He's got 66, 65, 64 available. He's done some specials. Like look at this one. Here's number 63. Look at the cover. $3. So
I feel like I want to go buy one of these books.
oh yeah, man. Look at this.
I don't know which one, but I'm gonna buy one of them.
This one's
Nice.
right up Adam's lane, right? Spice World,
Spice-
a porn parody. So shout out to Nate
Is that,
McDonough.
is that a hanging cover or is that
yes.
interior?
Longest fingernail suicide. What is this? Oh, it's sold out. It's original art. These are the original arts from the pandemic.
For $5?
$5. What if the man
what
with
if
the
the man-
world's longest fingernails hung himself?
What? What?
Freaking creepy, dude. Creepy.
What in the world is going on?
Look at this one. Look at this Jonah Hex one. This is Grix Ley number 57.
Oh my gosh.
Shout out to Nate McDonough, man. Look at this one. Spider-Man versus Venom. The Spider versus Venom.
What's sad is that I think that might be better than some of the JRJR covers.
Did you see the JRJR cover this week where it's Wolverine and it looks like he's got marshmallows on his claws? It's terrible. So, anyways,
It's better than the Donny Cates Venom cover.
Yeah. So here we go. Shout out to Nate McDonough and Grix Ley. I hope he sees this. This is super cool. All right, here we go. Moving on. Chesty Sanchez. Who hasn't heard of Chesty Sanchez? Most of us, I think. 2 comic books about Chesty Sanchez. This is Chesty Sanchez Super Special, issue 1 from Antarctic Press in 1999. And there are some Antarctic Press books that are super rare and that people want in a big way. And this seems like it's one of them because it sold for $30 for this book.
I feel like Hood's got this book.
96
Right,
pages.
Like he has to have this one.
I hope he does.
There is no way he doesn't have this one.
This is
I
definitely
initially like
yeah.
When you look at her though, like first of all, that's not really doesn't like match her name. But it, like she almost looks like what was that that wrestler that or the fighter that went to the movies?
Gina
and stuff?
Carano.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that. That's what like reminds me of.
Yeah. Well, Antarctic Press is based out of San Antonio. So, isn't Joe in San Antonio right now? So maybe he can do some digging at a Half Price Books.
Is there a Dirty Sanchez variant? That's awesome. I was going to make a Dirty Sanchez joke.
This can be a Dirty Sanchez variant. All you need is a brown pen. So if you want to get real crazy, you can, Anyways, moving on. I love these Savage Dragon books, man. Savage Dragon fans are crazy, just like they're rabid comic fans. And this is a really cool Savage Dragon cover. This is issue number 227, and I love how it says "Welcome to Toronto" on it. And I love how she's in a Maple Leafs jersey. They've got the 3 little kids below. A new beginning. This is a cool cover for Savage Dragon. This is, of course, Savage Dragon's son and daughter-in-law, and with grandkids of the Savage Dragon, and moving to Toronto. And I think that this is a cool book right here.
You want to know a fun fact about the Maple Leafs?
Yes.
Yes.
When I was 16, my mom took me to Toronto because she knew somebody that lived there, and he knew the person who ran whatever the Maple Leafs stadium is, and I got to go onto the ice, and while they were doing practice, and they hit some shots at me.
Bro,
Oh,
Yeah,
that is cool.
that's awesome, dude.
yeah. That
Matt,
was so
was
cool.
Matt Sundin there?
Dude, I was 16. I mean, like back then they didn't have like pads. Like everything was
Yeah.
still like the pucks were made out of like leather.
The buckets without the face masks. Some
Yeah,
guys
I mean,
didn't even wear helmets.
Yeah, I mean this would have been like late 80s, something like that. But
Dude, that's awesome, dude.
yeah. But that's not why this one was cool. This one was cool because it sold for $50. I keep telling you guys, if you're not like, I literally don't know anything about nobody's read Savage Dragon in like decades, but
Since issue
my
1.
gosh, right? But my gosh, I mean, it is still going on. The series is still going, and some of these issues are literally just impossible to find. I mean, they're just impossible.
Probably less than 3,000 printed on some of them for sure.
They don't even like when you go back and you actually look at like Comicron numbers, they don't even make the top 400 books, and like 400th book might be like 1,500. Like it doesn't even make the list.
Yeah,
these are super low. Some of these are really, really low printed.
Well,
some of those have variants too.
Stein, we have our own Savage Dragon fan in the community. Shout out to Zabit, who says, "I have nearly every issue of Savage Dragon since this issue a few years ago. They have recently moved to San Francisco this year, and those kids are bigger. So that's pretty cool, man." And so does DJK300. He says he has a full run. So more Savage Dragon fans than we think out there, brother.
Just those two.
Well, I mean, we keep the series ongoing for them, right?
Yep. Eric Larson, man, love affair, and it's a cool looking designed character, and the lineage part's super cool. I'm a fan of Savage Dragon. I'm a huge fan of Super Patriot too, whose first appearance was in Savage Dragon. So
I have to know, do you get Canadian membership or citizenship if you buy this book?
No, it's impossible to get. It's impossible to get Canadian citizenship, bro. If you're not born there, let me tell you. All those people that are saying they're going to move to Canada if so and so gets elected, yeah, good luck. Have fun trying to do that. Yeah. So, all right, moving on. All right, now this isn't the normal type of almost 10 book, because usually on the almost 10, they're books that we don't normally talk about, we don't normally know about, but this book hasn't been talked about in a while, and I did see this sale too, Stein, and it blew me away because there was also like a 9.4 or 9.6 sale that was pretty good, signed, and this is still one of my Grail books that I will own, but I don't want it signed. Call could sign it because he's signed so small, but I don't want anybody else to sign it, and I just, this cover is so freaking good, and that is Something Is Killing the Children, number 8. The DeCall 1 in 25.
Yeah, it had been kind of slowly dropping until this week. I mean, and it was a CBCS, which is even, I mean, whether you like CBCS or don't like CBCS, but it sold for 14. A 9.8 sold for 1,400, which is the highest it sold in like a year and a half. So it'd probably been close to down to 1,000 before this now sold. So, do you still have this?
So I had 2 copies at one point in time, and then I cracked. So one was the CBCS 9.8, and the other one was the CGC 9.8. I cracked my CBCS 9.8 and got it triple signed because DeCall, Tinian, and Deledra were all at one show. So I was like, kind of like, okay. And then I held on to both for a long time, and I was finally decided to sell the Blue Label Blue Label CGC, and I sold it for 1,200.
Not bad.
Is what I ended up selling it for. It was like during one of those post announcement time periods. I was like kind of like, all right, I need the cash. Like, let me go ahead and sell it. I still have my triple sign one, which I'm fine with. Yeah, so I was happy with that. And to hear it, to wait a year and a half or whatever for that 1,200 or 1,400 or whatever it would have sold for nowadays doesn't really seem like it was worth it to me. I enjoyed, I had my fair share of time with it. It was time for someone else to enjoy.
So on Wednesday night's episode at Beyond Wednesdays, we had this really good original art episode, and shout out to my good friend, recent friend Mike Hansen, who is just such a great person, amazing person, and I'm very lucky to have met him and hung out with him. He knows who I'm talking about. He was on the show, and he owns the Jay Lee variant for issue number 1.
Oh, that's badass.
The original art for that issue.
Yeah. And I own one Something Is Killing the Children OA cover, and it's a Momoko, but it's like it's like it's a store exclusive cover.
Yeah. Well, and the reason I'm talking about it is because he brought up how he really thinks that Erica Slaughter is that one character out there that has the most legs of like a Miles type character, or a Spider-Gwen type character that in the future will be a major player, in the collectible world.
Right. I already feel like that, since the series, she has that cult following already, and it just keeps on growing and growing at this point. I'm especially excited to see DeCall doing another Something Is Killing the Children incentive as well. He's doing an issue 0, 1 in 25.
Ooh, interesting.
And we all know who owns the OA for that right now.
Nice.
Long Short. So
nice. Good for him. Good for him.
Yeah,
I got to see.
But I'm excited to see it. Like once they with the full color, because like he may or may not have showed me what the sketch looked like.
Nice.
Even though, but he hasn't publicly shown it, which is within that. And I didn't take screenshots or anything like that, so don't ask me. But I did buy extra copies online.
Sure. Anyways, Joe W says can't wait for the TV show with a lot of people. I think it's gonna be major, and they're filming it right now. Or they're right. Tynan's in Europe.
Yeah, he went over to Europe to review the script.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's a lot further than especially for a series that's still ongoing right now.
Yeah. All right, so not bad. 1,400 for a 9.8. All right, moving on. The 5-star stories, issue number 26. Now, this is important to know. This is from Toy Press Inc. This is a Japanese manga, I believe. I'm not 100% sure. But they did a English version, and I think Toy Press is the one that put out the English version, if I'm not mistaken.
I think that might be right. We all know I'm not very versed on this, but that's kind of just from what I was reading. But if somebody knows different, you're more than welcome to correct us on that. It will not hurt my feelings at all.
Educate me too, because I have no idea, because I'm not Japanese.
Yeah.
So it says that this series is equal parts epic space opera, military drama, and character study. That is highlighted by Mamoru Nagano's elegant and detailed artwork. So there you go. Big series.
Why when somebody says space opera or space odyssey, it sounds so big. Like it just sounds
cool.
Like it just sounds cool when you say space opera or space odyssey. I don't know why.
Yeah.
It's because they were listening to Queen when they wrote it.
Probably.
Or you just think of how big the universe is, So
that's true.
You think Star Wars, you think how big it is, and yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
JC.
JC. So how much is this one?
I'm gonna get canceled.
Yeah.
This one sold for $200.
Oh wow.
So it's just, I mean, it's number 26. So I don't really know what makes this particular issue worth $200.
Yeah. Yeah. It's
Is this last issue?
2004 is when this came out. It is the last issue, I believe.
Oh, is it?
I believe.
Oh, I just guessed. I had no
believe,
idea.
But I could be wrong on that also. But I believe it is the last issue. So there you go. More stuff to be on the lookout for. All right, moving on, we have Stargate Universe, issue number 1. Now, this is a book that a lot of people might not know about. This is a hard book to find information on, from American Mythology in 2017.
Yeah, if you don't know who American Mythology is, they're the same people that put out like the Three Stooges books.
Zorro, I think, right?
Yeah, did they do like Rocky and Bullwinkle maybe?
Yep. Yep.
Did
they do Pink Panther?
Yeah, I think they did Pink Panther.
Yeah.
Yeah, some really odd selections of titles that they put out. Yeah, this book sold for $70. I was shocked when I saw that it sold for $70. This is just a 8 cover, right?
Yep. And I couldn't find much information on this, man. This is a tougher book to find. I don't even think Cover Price has this on their site yet. So, Matt, if you're listening, look into this one. This one's interesting. So,
Stargate Universe.
Yep. Stargate, great series, great IP, amazing.
Is this like the same Stargate from the movies?
Yep. So, AOA says he never liked Stargate. Really, dude? I thought that the Stargate movie was amazing. Stargate TV show wasn't as good, but it wasn't bad. It had early Momoa in it when he started kind of becoming actual Jason Momoa and wasn't just some young surfer from Baywatch. But it also had the dude from what was the MacGyver? It had MacGyver in it, which was kind of weird instead of Kurt Russell. But Kurt Russell was such a badass in the original Stargate.
Oh, you know what? Now that you mentioned Momoa, I've got a photo variant of Momoa from this.
Oh, nice,
dude! That's a
you gotta get it signed.
Yeah, that's actually cool.
Because he's been making appearances at cons, or he's just a CGC signing away.
Yeah, but then I have to get then I have to get a yellow label.
Yeah.
Just get a JSA approved. So it's black and
just put it in a Stein pack, bro. People will love it. Yeah.
That's fair.
Yeah. All right. Moving on. The next one everybody's going to love. Goonies, the official collector's souvenir magazine from 1985. Look at that cover, man. Oh, this takes me back. I remember all these official magazines from all these movies. I have all the Star Wars ones. This just is nostalgia. Bonus, Cyndi Lauper's Goonie music and video.
That's awesome. I am so excited that they're finally making Goonies sequel. I'm so excited. I'm sorry you were not alive when Goonies came out.
And the funny part is like even though like people around my age group have all seen it and love it, like it it doesn't speak to me like everyone else does.
Have you seen it?
I think I have,
bro.
It's been a long time.
You need to change that think part and go watch it again, bro. This is one of the greatest things ever filmed. One of the greatest stories ever told, bro. Like, this is that good. There was nothing better than as a kid watching the moment when they see all the treasure and then the ships. And then you like, as a kid, you're thinking how cool it is. Oh, they're going to get all this treasure. And then the letdown at the end when those fucking ships just sail off. And you're
but they ended up with that costume jewelry, so that was awesome.
Yeah. But they also did save their town, so
that is true. And I will say this. So I love this movie so much. When I got sent a few years ago to Portland Like we took a day trip to the beach just to go see Goonies Beach.
I did the same thing, dude. I did the same
Nice.
thing. You have to. If you're in that part of the country. So I took a trip where I drove all the way up the PCH from California all the way up to as far as it goes. And when we got to that area, we were like, okay, we have to go. We have to go and see this. It's like you said, Stein, it's something you have to do.
See, I drove up from Portland to Seattle, and the only stop I made was at Jimi Hendrix Memorial.
Yeah.
And we smoked a joint there.
You wouldn't have made it there from Portland to Seattle because you have to go across the mountains to get to the ocean to get to Goonies Beach.
Yeah.
Okay.
I want to get one of those One-Eyed Willie, the skeleton thing where you can look at the Goonies Beach and you can look at the two things and see them and match them up. I want to get one of those and do that. You know what I mean?
All right. So I'll do. Since you're gonna watch the horror movie tonight, I'll watch the Goonies tonight.
Hell yeah!
Because I'm pretty sure I've seen it, but I just don't remember it.
Hey, and also Goonies Beach is also Point Break's beach.
Yep.
So if you get used to that one beach,
two of the greatest movies. Oh yeah.
All right. I guess I'm watching it on Amazon Prime tonight.
Yep. Yep.
But anyway, this sold in a CGC 9.4 for an all-time high of $600.
Wow.
So as a 9.4, I don't think there is a 9.8. I think there might be 196 or maybe 296s. There's not much.
Man,
that's higher than the 9.4.
I wonder if they have. I wonder if they have a replica map for Goonies. That would be cool to get framed.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure I've seen that before.
Oh man, yeah.
And so the chat's accusing me of being too young and watching like Shark Boy and Spy Kids. See, I was too old for that. So there's no happy medium for me in between that. I mean, I grew up with TMNT and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles was my movie as a kid. Like I remember watching the first one like way too many times, and then I remember G.I. Joe. I didn't like Transformers, but yeah,
good shit, man. This is the best Corey Feldman movie of all time, no doubt. All right, moving on. This is something very interesting. Listen, MetaZoo did a lot of TCGers really dirty, and they went bankrupt or whatever happened, and they canceled and they shut everything down. But there was a lot of big MetaZoo fans out there, and I'm not surprised to see this book getting the money it's getting now. A CGC copy sold for a grip this week.
Yeah, so it is not an all-time high. It has sold for higher than this before, but it had dropped when they went bankrupt or whatever. It's been dropping and dropping and dropping to where it was basically 9.8s were like $300. But then this week it sold for $750. So if you held on to it or whatever, I always feel like some of these properties, kind of like Twinkies, like. Even though they may go under, somebody will probably end up buying it and restarting it again, right?
Yeah.
I mean, there was no way Twinkies were going to go away forever, right?
Yep.
So somebody bought Hostess and brought them back.
Yeah.
But who would buy MetaZoo? Like, do you think like Wizard of the Coast or something like that, or
maybe Topps didn't Topps try and buy them, or Topps did something with them? They teamed with them to put them into Walmarts or something.
Yeah, because I thought originally, like from by the time it was a Kickstarter, like Topps had bought them. Because by the time it showed up in New York City Comic Con, it was through the Topps spoof, right?
Yeah, so maybe it was just a licensing deal or a distribution deal,
Okay.
Well then, I mean, heck, Fanatics has got unlimited cash. I mean, why can't they just buy them?
Yeah,
that's true.
Yeah, it'd be smart,
maybe Upper Deck or something like that.
Yeah. I see everybody saying that Lost Boys was Feldman's best movie. You guys are crazy. Lost Boys is a great movie, but it's nowhere near as good as Goonies.
Well, I don't even think if you're talking like, ooh, Feldman was in Stand By Me, right?
Yeah, but
Oh,
Stand By
yeah.
Me was great too, but not as good as
But
Goonies.
I'm saying I think Stand By Me was better than Lost Boys.
Yes, for sure.
See, I've seen both those movies.
And not Goonies,
bro.
Yeah.
Wow,
I don't know how I missed Goonies.
man.
Yeah.